I will give you an exercise by which one may develop consciously control and direct his visualizing activities for definite accomplishment. There are several steps to the process which every student can use at any and all times. The practice does bring visible, tangible results when really applied. The first step is to determine upon a definite plan or desire to be fulfilled. In this, see that it is constructive, honorable, and worthy of your time and effort. Be sure to examine your motive for bringing such a creation into expression. It must be honest both toward yourself and the rest of the world, not merely to follow a whim or gratify appetites of the physical senses. Remember, there is a vast difference between use, desire, and appetite. Use is the fulfilling of the great universal law of service. Desire is the expanding activity of God through which manifestation is constantly sustained and its perfection enlarging itself. Appetite is but habit established by the continued gratification of the feeling nature and is but energy focused and qualified by suggestions from the outer activity of life. Be very sure that there is no lurking feeling within that you would be glad to benefit at the expense of another. A real student, and only such a one will get the benefit out of this kind of training, takes the reins into his own hands, determines to discipline and consciously control the human self. He chooses what shall or shall not be in his world, and through the process of picturing within his mind, designs and brings into manifestation a definitely determined plan of life. The second step is to state your plan in words as concise and clear as possible. Write this down. Thus, you make a record of your desire in the outer, visible, tangible world. The third step is to close the eyes and see within your mind a mental picture of your desire or plan in its finished, perfect condition and activity. Contemplate the fact that your ability to create and see a picture within your own consciousness is God's attribute of sight acting in you. The activity of seeing and the power to create are attributes of your God self which you know and feel is within you at all times. God's life and power are acting within your consciousness to propel into your outer world the picture you are seeing and feeling within yourself. Keep reminding the intellect that the ability to picture is an attribute of God, the attribute of sight. The power to feel, experience, and associate with the perfected picture is God's power. The substance used in the world without to make the forms in your picture and plan is God's pure substance. Then you must know God is the doer, the doing, and the deed of every constructive form and action that ever has been set forth into the world of manifestation. When you thus used all the constructive processes, it is impossible for your plan not to come into your visible world. Read your desire or plan as many times in the day as possible and always just before retiring, because on going to sleep, immediately after contemplating the picture in your own mind, a full impression is left upon the human consciousness undisturbed for a number of hours, enabling it to be recorded deeply in the outer activity and allowing the force to be generated and accumulated, which propels it into the outer experience life. In this way, you can carry any desire or picture into your consciousness as it enters the great silence in sleep. There, it becomes charged by God's greatest power and activity, which is always within the heart of the great silence. Under no circumstances, discuss either your desire or the fact that you are visualizing with anyone whatsoever. This is imperative. Do not talk to yourself about it out loud or even in a whisper, for you should realize that the greater the accumulation of energy generated by your visualization, contemplation, and feeling the reality of your picture, the quicker it will come into your outer experience. Thousands of desires, ambitions, or ideals would have manifested into the outer experience of individuals if they had not discussed them with friends or acquaintances. When you decide to definitely bring about an experience through consciously directed visualization, you become the law, God, the law of the One, and to whom there is no opposite. You must make your own decision and stand back of your own decree with all your power. It means you must take an unshakable, determined stand. To do so, know and feel that it is God desiring, God feeling, God knowing, God manifesting, and God controlling everything concerning it. This is the law of the One, God, and God only. Until this is fully understood, you cannot and never will get your manifestation. For the moment a human element enters, you are taking it out of God's hands, and of course, it cannot express because you are neutralizing it by the human qualities of time, space, place, and 1,001 other imaginary conditions which God knows nothing about. No one can ever know God as long as he considers a force opposed to God, for whenever he acknowledges that two forces can act, he has a resultant quality of neutralizing activity. When you have neutralization, you have no definite quality either way. You merely have nothing or no thing in your manifestation. When you acknowledge God, the One, you have only perfection manifested instantly, for there is nothing to oppose or neutralize it, no element of time. So is it established unto you, for there is none to oppose what God decrees. Conditions can never improve for anyone until he desires perfection and stops acknowledging a power opposed to God, or that there is something either in or outside of him that can prevent God's perfection from expressing. One's very acknowledgement of a condition that is less than all of God is his deliberate choice of an interpretation, and that kind of choice is the fall of man. This is deliberate and intentional because he is free every moment to think whatsoever he chooses to think. Incidentally, it takes no more energy to think a thought or picture of perfection than it does one of imperfection. You are the creator, localized to design and create perfection in your world and place in the universe. If perfection and dominion are to be expressed, you must know and acknowledge only the law of the One. The One exists and controls completely everywhere in the universe. You are the self-consciousness of life, the one supreme presence of the great flame of love and light. You alone are the chooser, the decreer of the qualities and forms you wish to pour your life into, for you are the only energizer of your world and all it contains. When you think or feel, part of your life energy goes forth to sustain your creation. Cast out of mind then all doubt or fear of the fulfillment of that which you are picturing. Should any such thoughts or feelings, which are after all but human emanations, thoughts and feelings that do not contain perfection, come to your consciousness, instantly replace them by the full acknowledgement of yourself and world as the life of God, the One. Further than that, be completely unconcerned about it, except during the time you are visualizing. Have no set time in your mind for results, except to know there is only now, just the immediate moment. Take this discipline, use it, and you can manifest a resistless power in action that cannot and never did fail. Always remember you are God picturing, you are God intelligence directing, you are God power propelling. It is God's, your substance, being acted upon. As you realize this and contemplate the fullness of it often, everything in the universe rushes to fulfill your desire, your command, your picture, for it is all constructive and therefore agrees with the original divine plan for self-conscious life. If the human side of us really agrees to the divine plan and accepts it, there can be no such thing as delay or failure, for all energy has the inherent quality of perfection within it and rushes to serve its creator. As your desire or picture is constructive, you are God seeing his own plan. When God sees, it is an irrevocable decree or command to appear now. In the creation of this earth and system of worlds, God said, "Let there be light," and light appeared. It did not take eons of time to create light. The same mighty God is in you now, and when you see or speak, it is His attribute of sight and speech which is acting in and through you. If you realize what this truly means, you can command by His full power and authority, for you are His life consciousness, and it is only the self-consciousness of your life that can command, picture, or desire a constructive and perfect plan. Every constructive plan is His plan. Therefore, you know God is acting, commanding, "Let this desire or plan be fulfilled now," and it is done.